You're watching the Chaos Protocol on Transplanar RPG, an all-transgender, people of color-led dark fantasy TTRPG show set in an original non-colonial, anti-orientalist multiverse. If you like what you see, please consider pledging to our Patreon to support the show and get access to a patron-only after-show, early podcast episodes, GM notes, character sheets, and even the chance for your tabletop OC to cameo in our series. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy. The Chaos Protocol is a dark fantasy series that may contain content that is triggering for some viewers. Content warnings for this episode include heights, falling, fantasy violence, gore, complex relationships, divine cannibalism, death of loved ones, and a brief description of Igor. Arc 2, Episode 29. Remember Me Always. From Carved Inside an Empty Urn by Connie Chong. The River Gourd shatters into 12 pieces. 6 of these pieces scatter across the city of heaven, planting themselves into the divine loam of celestial courtyards, the granite cliffs of oscillating peaks, the languid tides of the Black River. The remaining 6 sink into the mist, perforating the boundary between realms. 5 shards fall into the mortal world, scattering across the 5 great earthly kingdoms, and the 12th and final shard sinks to the bottom of the shattered river, descending into the necromantic depths of the underworld. Over the course of centuries, these 12 pieces shall go on to be known as the River Seals, used to traverse the broken sister realms. But that's not important right now. Not for these agents. Not for this story. Exploding outward from the infinite depths of the shattered River Gourd. Of the shattered River Gourd is the mist. Freed, untamed, joyous, it fulminates across the city of heaven, washing the shrouds of panic and denial away from the bodies and souls of transformed gods. It restores these deities to their chosen forms, not to unwrite the monstrosity that has always been there, that will always be there. That is not bad in and of itself, but to give balance to these struggling divines, to unmake this corrupting veil of violence that has been thrust over them. In the Hall of Peerless Destiny, the liberated mist washes over the demons, clashing against the 4 symbols. Strands of white unfurl in fingers of pure fog, pulling at these underworld deities, not violently, not forcibly, but lovingly. A creator's hand guiding them back home. And one by one by one by one, the demons sink into this current of white, plunging into the depths of the shattered river, sinking all the way back home to the underworld. The only demon strong enough, wicked enough, vile enough to resist the gentle but insistent call of the mist is Queen T. Gu, Lord of Death. She rages against the tendrils of mist wrapping around her torso like a lover's gentle embrace. She screams with a noise of pure hatred, and she launches herself again at her sister. It is through sheer loathsome willpower, and sheer loathsome willpower alone, that the Sovereign on Low resists the river's tide. Longdu, panting now, always the weaker sister, bleeding red like a mortal from gashes across her body, straightens her spine and lifts that diamond blade toward her sister's approach. And back in Plumleaf Courtyard, the 3 demons sink into the tide of the liberated mist, their shouts of shock and dismay swallowed by a swirl of lucent fog. And just like that, Shalong, Tang Tang, and Bai Gujing are not seen from again. At least not right now. Not from these agents. Not for this story. Upon the roof, Xuejiang stands frozen, shocked, her face a perfect study of strife. Xiaocheng lifts Zifeng, the amethyst blade still ringing from the noise of the gourd shattering against its edge. The courtier of 4 symbols lifts their chin and addresses the Forge Master, and though the hand holding purple wind quivers, their voice does not waver. It's over, Forge Master. The mist has sent the demons home. It's time for you to stand down.
You've ruined everything.
This is a second chance, Xuejiang. It doesn't have to be this way.
You ruined everything.
Lunging forward, like the divine tiger that she is, Xuejiang moves with such precision and violence that it happens before any of you can react. Xuejiang opens her jaw, revealing sharp, gleaming canines, and then her teeth are in Xiaocheng's face. The virtue cries out. They stagger backward. Blood, orange blood like a sunrise or maybe a final sunset, arcs into the air, and Xiaocheng shoves Xuejiang away, grabbing at their face, crying out, half of which is mangled, torn, bloodied, orange. And the Forge Master lifts her head and wipes at her mouth, panting, and there is a crunching noise in her jaw, like a diamond shattering. And then she swallows.
Orange jade. Could have fooled me. I always thought your eyes would taste like something more pedestrian. But I should give you more credit. You are the Emperor's virtue, after all.
What did you do?
I understand now why the Devourers ate each other. Oh, this power. It's like nothing I've ever known. And I didn't even eat all of you.
What did you do?
I'm going to make you pay. I'm going to make all of you pay from stealing from me what was rightfully mine.
Xuejiang lifts the axe. Destruction in one hand and the hammer, creation, in the other. She arcs them above Xiaocheng, whose remaining eye goes wide with horror, and the courtier raises Zifeng to defend themselves, but the movement is delayed. They are wounded, they are staggered from this injury they've just sustained. Xainan, Lumièra, Seir, which of you acts first?
Xainan. I think Xainan was standing right next to the Forge Master when she jumped off the building. Mm-hmm. And I think he fully pivots as she moves. And so by the time Ta has taken that bite, Xainan has watched the whole thing, wishing that he had been just a little faster, had been a little bit more corporeal, had been a little bit more cogent. And he's had it. He's had it with her. And he raises his bow. And with all of the ghosts around him, even though he is slowly shifting back into being real, to being, he draws that birdsong bow, and he would like to try and do something that, even though he has tried at this point at least 10 times to do on his own, and has only done it once with help, he would like to try and shoot a god and make it count.
Okay.
And Connie, I'd like to dig very deep. And I would like to stop holding back.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Yes, I love that. As you draw the birdsong bow, the ghosts you summoned swirl around you, combining their essences with the liberated mist that flows through this entire courtyard, not as a veil of corruption, but as liberation. It's like a tailwind underneath your wings. And Xainan, as you stop holding back, I would also like you to recover 2 burned tags of your choice as the mist swirls around you, as well as recover 2 tiers of any status, also of your choice. You're very welcome. It's very needed. Now let's turn over to stop holding back. So describe what you hope to achieve. You've said so. Make a god bleed. And the GM will tell you the cost. The cost of this is the only place where you can pull on this power is through the cracks spidering across the right side of your face. Because you are a mortal, Xainan. You are a mortal somewhere between being a ghost, somewhere between being a man, both, neither. Something that is all of it at the same time and also none of it at the same time. But that's still not enough to make a god bleed in the Sister Realms. You need godhood itself. Only divinity can punish divinity. Only divinity can consume divinity here. So you have to dig deep into that wound, and the deeper you go, the farther away you slip from man, and the closer you fall into being ghost. So that's the cost.
Whew. Okay. I think at this point, with that threat hanging in the air, he can't stop. He will dig as deep as he has to, because she will not hurt anyone else.
Okay, so I need you to roll 2d6 plus the number of logos themes you have. I think that's 3. Or is it 2? Okay, 3. Go for it.
3. Love an unbalanced build. Oh, Jesus. Well, it's been nice knowing you all. My dice have not gotten better. That's a 6.
Okay. On a 6-, you completely lose control. Yes?
I have a +2 forward that I would like.
You do! Oh, Jesus.
Good
thank
on you
God.
for remembering that. Everyone was like, the despair in the room was heavy. Okay, that is an 8, so that's a hit. You must also replace one theme with its inverse. So a mythos theme must become a logos, or a logos becomes a mythos. Okay, that's just something I'm gonna ping on your radar.
Yep.
Tell me what it looks like as you make this god bleed.
I think as the ghosts draw around him, he's been having so much meaningful connection with them, and I think finally with them guarding him from destruction, from the Forge Master, from all of these moments, and guiding him and helping him move, and seeing Ija, helping him attack those demons. I think he finally feels like, or it is some false confidence brought on by the, I don't know, getting hit in the head by a very, very divine hammer. He feels the pull to draw them in, to draw all of the love, to draw all of the growth, and hold them close as he draws the birdsong bow, the manifestation of his calling. And he is going to channel all of that ghost energy, as much of it as he can pull on, through him and into the bow. And I think as he draws it, he doesn't even draw an arrow. I think as he draws the bow, his fingers manifest the arrow. It's like he's drawing a line in the air. And as he does, the bowstring lights in blue flame. The rest of it begins to swirl in this brilliant blue ghostly flame, and he himself alights with it as he shoots this bow.
I love it. The flames on the string are blue. If I may, the arrow itself is white. It lights up pure divine white. You recognize this light. It cracked you open. It's Xuejiang's divinity. It is her power that is now flowing through the wounds she created through that crater against your face. And in a flurry of flame, spirit fire, and pure, focused, precise divinity. Where would you like this arrow to hit, Xuejiang? You're muted.
In the same arm that he's been hunting after repeatedly. A true archer is all about consistency. So he is going to go after that axe arm.
Okay, yeah. The arrow punches right through the forearm. Again, like a perfect clean shot. It doesn't even lodge, it just whistles right through. And we see a nickel-sized hole whisk open in that divine flesh, and bright white blood start welling against the skin and then pouring down in a river of just pure white. And Xuejiang stumbles, loses her footing, staggers, and that gives Xiaocheng just enough time to bring Zifeng up, parry, and then twirl out of the way, still holding a hand against their half-mangled face. And the hammer comes down, the axe comes down, they both hit the tiles of that roof in the courtyard, and we see some ceramic chip and then scatter onto the ground.
You!
And Xuejiang straightens all the way and turns toward you, Xainan.
That power, it's mine. All of you are thieves.
I think as the Forge Master turns around, she sees the end of the shot, the bowstring finally going taut, but it doesn't ever stop. And I think that the theme that I'm going to flip is the birdsong bow, and it shatters along the seams of all of the birds that are engraved across it, and the whole bow just explodes forward in divine light. And the archer is without a weapon.
As it explodes and these bright crystals of light fragment around your face, haloing you, Xuejiang's anger turns to shock, and then
That's what you get for wielding divinity. Boy, without earning it, I had to earn mine through violence and fire. Let me show you what that means. Let me hammer its name to your bones until you are nothing left but dust.
Lumièra or Seir, which of you would like to go next?
I would like to go.
Okay, Seir.
Seir still has violence lodged into his ribs.
That's
And
true.
he was too slow, too exhausted when Xiaocheng was attacked. But as soon as he sees Xuejiang pivot towards Xainan, ready to render her violence onto him, Seir grabs the hilt of violence and the weapon shakes in his hand, rattling against his will. Connie, I want to... Violence is currently corrupted.
That's true, has been corrupted by Xuejiang's bloodlust, by Xuejiang's gospel. You feel it, that's the word. Her gospel is seizing against your fist as it closes around the hilt of that moon sickle, and it is powerful, Seir. It was powerful enough to corrupt the mist from the inside out when everyone was trapped inside the River Gourd. And the gospel is as follows.
Everyone, in their most pure form, is nothing but a vessel of violence.
Another word for doom. And I want to wield the doom of that's corrupting violence and wield it myself against Xuejiang.
That is so fucking metal. This is like two evil forces fighting each other. I love this. I need you to channel your power. So roll 2d6 plus power tags.
Wahoo! Yes, I'll be more than happy to do that. I would like to use Guardian Shrine Beast, Protector of Chosen Ones, Ironclad Coat, a Devourer's Edge, Monstrous Countenance, Powerful Against Gods, Weave Omens.
That is 7. Let's see. I'm going to invoke the status Bleeding 5. I think you're at Bleeding 5, so that's going to be a plus 2.
Bleeding 5.
Yes. Go for it. Plus 2.
Don't fuck with me, die. You did not fuck with me, die. That's an 8.
Okay, that is a hit. So on a 7 to 9, you already know what it is. Choose one effect. The effect is limited or the effect is volatile.
Volatile, baby. The truth continues.
None of you have ever picked limited, and I love this for us. The
Honestly,
illusion of choice.
I appreciate you continuously asking, Connie, but you should just go forward. Now,
watch that be the one time you pick limited. Okay. Seir, You grab onto the hilt of violence and you pull it slowly out of your chest. You feel every centimeter, every inch of that blade slipping out from between your ribs until it fully comes out. And a bright well of crimson bubbles to the top of your fur and starts dribbling down that mane that covers your chest. But you hold it. You hold violence, and through the bloodied sheen of the edge of the blade, coated with your own life force, you see him, his eyes, which are your eyes.
Good. Yes. Just like this. Feel the teeth of it. You are not a wielder. You are a weapon. But who says a weapon can't have its own sapience, have its own desire, have its own will? Hold it right here. This is the place where control and patience meet violence and doom. Walk the razor's edge. Cut your feet upon its thorns. That is the price you must pay to wield yourself. Now, surge.
Through each word of that lesson, Seir presses the blood of his own life force against his teeth and lips. And as the knife continues to shake with that corruption, there's a well inside of Seir that remembers a tall figure with golden eyes, also coaching him from behind his right ear of how to strike his opponent. And Connie, I want to throw violence like a boomerang to cut Xuejiang across the face and come back to me.
Okay, I think this is part of your channel, your power move. You do it. You fling the blade forward and it whisks through the air, slicing through the mist, like dispersing the fog where it leaves a trail of incandescent violence in its wake, and it slices across Xuejiang's cheek, and a stitch of white blood wells open from where it makes contact. Because ironically, just like she did with Xainan, she had imbued violence with her own divinity. And yet this blade has been turned against her, and it falls back into your hand perfectly. And she turns her furious gaze from Xainan to you.
No.
Is this your violence?
Impossible.
The violence. It's mine. No.
You are nothing. Nothing but a drop of water in the river of rage that runs through me.
And then you hear Doom's voice in your ear swirling alongside the mist.
Watch, boy. Look into her eyes. You can see it. You can see us. The Doom. Her. Doom. Study her. Watch her. Walk that razor's edge. Patience and violence. Patience and violence. Watch her. Study her.
And as that voice tangles with the mist that swirls around you, I would like you as well to recover 2 burn tags of your choice and reduce 2 tiers of any status as well. Yes.
Reducing bleeding. I am recovering Can't Be Surprised, and I will also recover Precise Counterattack.
Love that. Really good things to recover. I think we're now going to push across the courtyard to find Lumièra.
Okay, before I say what Lumièra is going to do, I have a couple of questions. First,
Absolutely.
in proximity, where is Lumièra to
Xuejiang?
on the battlefield?
Yeah, so you're still in the courtyard, which is kind of on ground level. Xiaocheng and Xuejiang are both on top of a roof, kind of directly in front of you.
Okay. Where is Xainan in relation to me?
Also on the roof.
Also on the roof. So we'll have to get to the roof. Or how far is Seir from me?
Seir is with you in the courtyard.
I'm actually on the roof now, but I am close
Oh, yeah,
by.
wait, actually, you're right. You've leapt onto the roof. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of last episode, you did. Okay, so Seir, Xainan, pretty much everyone's on the roof except for you.
Okay.
Yinghe's with you, if that helps.
That's true. Yinghe is
Yeah,
with you.
Yinghe-
In the courtyard. Yep.
No, that doesn't help me at all. I need to get to the roof. I will make my way to the roof as fast as I can.
So actually, I think Yinghe will help you. Lumièra's greatest obstacle, vertical movement. So as you greatest healer and chronomancer of your time, defeated by a 5-step ladder. Next to you, Yinghe kind of pulls themselves up to like a straight stand. They were staggered from wielding violence and being corrupted by it. But now that sickle is out of their hand, it falls limply to their side. They look at you and they track your eyes, gazing up at everyone else on top of the roof. And they say, Lumièra, let me help. Here, just stay still. Do you trust them in this moment?
I have to get to Seir and to Xainan.
Let me help you.
Trust them.
Okay. And then you feel a plate of shadow whisk open underneath you in a pure circle, and then you fall. You sink through the shadow, and then it's interesting. You sink, and then it's like you rise, like the whole world flips upside down, and then you rise out of Xainan's shadow behind him, cloaked in wisps of shade, and then they fall down around you. You're directly beside the archer, with Xuejiang in front of you and Xiaocheng behind Xuejiang.
Lumièra sits there just briefly. It feels like a long stretch of time as her eyes jump between Seir and Xiaocheng and Xainan. She knows her team. She believes in them and what they can do. She has to save the mission. So Lumièra will create a liminal around Xiaocheng. And in the midst of that liminal will attempt to revert time back to when they didn't get their eye bit out.
Okay, so that's going to be a channel your power moment. As you kind of throw your hand forward and focus on Xiaocheng beyond where Xuejiang is standing, you also feel the mist, the liberated mist, whoosh around you as though empowering your movements. And you also get to recover 2 burn tags of your choice and reduce 2 tiers of any status of your choice as well. So,
Okay.
Tell me the tags you're rolling alongside this move.
I will mark down battered
Okay.
as well as marked for death.
Okay.
And then, so I recovered 2 tags and, okay, so what I will do is I'm gonna throw all of my training power tags into this. So
Okay.
first aid, healing, diagnoses, and trauma medic. I will, however, inflict need stabilizer because I did not give Xiaocheng a stabilizer before I tried to do this. I will also inflict corrupted by the mist, so that knocks it down to 2.
Okay.
However, I will add forbidden knowledge, creating liminals, and revert time to heal.
That's pretty straightforward. Yeah, that's a +5, unmodified. I'm going to invoke Marked for Death 1,
Okay.
Corrupted by the Mist 1, and Bloodied 1. So that's a total of a +2 to your roll.
Okay, sounds fine. Okay, you said that was a +1, +2?
+2.
+2. Okay, that'll be a hot 13. I rolled it.
Oh my god, okay. On a 10 plus, the effect is exactly as intended. A bubble of time opens up around Xiaocheng, and on its surface we see clock gears clicking against each other, clicking, and turning. And in it we see Xiaocheng kind of fly backward in time from where they were standing with a riposte pose, holding Zifeng, and then they kind of revert all the way back forward to where Xuejiang was standing. And then we see Xuejiang also get caught into the liminal because her actions affected what happened to Xiaocheng. We see her kind of like lift, revert the blow from her axe and her hammer back up to the arc and then lower it again, and then her mouth is against Xiaocheng's face, and then you feel it, Lumièra, a sticking point. Something in there like a grain of sand, like a rod, and that perfect clock gear, that perfect timepiece that is your chronergy. And then you feel it. The cost. It's going to cost so much more than this if you want to undo an act of consumption that a god has torn from the body of another god.
What do you need from me?
And you feel it. The gold. Up your left hand, it starts to creep further and further up your elbow as you reach that sticking point and you try to work through it, right? With brute force. Do you force yourself through it? Or do you try to recall the Drifter's words despite their lack of instruction?
I try to recall the Drifter's words despite their lack of instruction.
Okay, you pause there, and Xuejiang and Xiaocheng both freeze in, suspended in mid-time, but you can feel their divinity, pressing against the edges of the liminal. It's not going to hold much longer. But as you try to recall the Drifter's words, you hear it, a glitching noise behind your ear. Is it a memory of what the Drifter said the last time they were here, or is it... No, it's them. They're here. And though the Drifter glitches into existence behind you, it's like you're standing in the middle of a prism or in the middle of an inverted mirror. You can see a shimmery haze, an echo of them in front of you as well, as though they're in two places at once, into existence. What are you doing?
You refuse to tell me anything. So now I take it in my hands. Do you help me or not?
The Drifter vanishes and then reappears on the other side of your periphery.
Stop doing that!
We've already done this.
No, we haven't.
Lumièra, the way I taught you.
You didn't teach me anything.
What are you talking about? And then that Drifter vanishes as well. And then another Drifter somewhere above you, but also beneath you. Lumièra, that's your name, isn't it?
Are you going to help me or not? I don't have time for this.
This conversation hasn't happened yet. This isn't right.
Fate, fuck me! Help me!
And on you calling out, help me, you don't lose any more years off your life because of the choice you've made with this perfect 10, this perfect 13. But the two gods do break out of the liminal. There's the kind of explosive force within you that you feel. It even slides you several feet down past the tiles, which scatter into the courtyard. And Xuejiang and Xiaocheng flip forward through time, back exactly where they were before you held them. And
that's terrifying.
That's so scary.
I hated that. I hated
that a lot, actually.
Because this consequence, you feel it as the rubber band of time snaps, Lumièra. The consequence you were trying to undo was not meant to be undone. A power greater than you has decreed it. But you tried. You tried and you did your absolute best, the best you could here with no instruction. So this is what happens. Xiaocheng lifts their head. Their hand comes down from their face. And when they open their eyes, we see that one of them is orange, just like it always was. But the other one, at first, you see a glitching red X inside the socket. It glitches in, glitches out, and then nothing at all. You had tried, and you had failed. Xuejiang,
What did you? Time mage.
and there is an edge of deep shock and just a little bit of trepidation in the way that Xuejiang calls your title. She turns and faces you and Xainan upon the roof. And now it's time for her to act. I think Nova has sufficiently turned her attention away from Xiaocheng in this moment with all of your combined movements. And she lifts her axe, lifts her hammer, and she comes at the two agents of Trans who are closest to her, Xainan and Lumièra. Xainan and Lumièra, I want the two of you to pick between yourselves. Which of you is attacked by creation and which of you is attacked by destruction?
Oh, Jesus. Sam, do you have any thoughts, any opinions?
Xainan has been through enough destruction. Lumièra will take destruction.
Okay.
Xainan will take creation.
Okay. Then these two weapons smash down on top of the two of you. The axe down to Lumièra and the hammer down to Xainan. So, Lumièra, let's deal with you first, though I need both of you to answer the same question. The axe comes down. How do you try to dodge it or take it?
I'll let Xainan go first.
Xainan, for the love of God, resist it. I have a help point. I will help you.
Okay. I think Xainan, who's now, I think, roiling with this, like, ghostly energy, he's disarmed. And not that he could actually do anything about it even before, because that's why he's gotten the crap beaten out of him today. But I think he is gonna try and like fully ghost through it again. It worked half a once, so hopefully it'll happen again.
As the axe comes out, okay, you try to go ghost to resist it. And what about you, Lumièra, before the hammer makes contact?
Lumièra would like to stop holding back.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, in response to this, so how are you trying to wield your powers?
I think when Lumièra sees that blade coming down just for a glimpse, for a second, in the glimpse of whatever light that is there on the battlefield in that moment, she sees this black eclipse, the blade just directly blocking it out for a second before it dissolves into cherry blossoms before sputtering out of existence. Lumièra would like to create a liminal around herself and Xainan.
Okay, a protective one, right? To kind of like absorb both blows.
Shield.
Okay.
Right around.
That's what you hope to achieve. I
Yep.
love it. The cost has already happened. That's all I'm gonna say. So roll 2d6 plus logos.
Okay. I have. Okay, so I'm going to add.
You don't need to invoke any tags. Just how many logos themes you have total.
Yeah, I have two.
Yeah.
Logos,
Okay, great.
I have two logos themes. Okay.
Lovely.
However, I do have an improvement that once per session, I can wait. Is this a channel our power or tempt fate move?
No, it's a stop
Nope.
holding
Okay,
back.
stop holding back. My bad. Okay.
All right.
Okay, that's fine.
2d6 plus 2. Let's do it. Yes,
I don't like
Lumièra?
that laugh.
It's either really
I'm
good or really
nervous.
bad.
Is it really bad?
You have a +2 forward too from our mission debrief.
Oh, that's just barely gonna help.
That's
Take
okay.
it.
Take it.
Listen, that makes it a 6.
Oh, that
With
doesn't
the
help
plus
then.
2, you got
With the
box
plus
cards?
help.
Okay,
Plus the
no,
plus 2.
the dice have spoken. The dice have
Yeah,
spoken.
the dice has spoken.
Okay. On a 6-, you completely lose control. When the dust settles, the GM will describe how the cost is even steeper than you imagined.
Oh, this is sexy.
The liminal springs into being. Just as Xainan starts to try to flicker out of existence, like the ghost form surges around you, and these ghostly bodies, these spirits also around you in an attempt to shield you, and then the liminal springs up. We see a massive wall of clock gears, and then BAM! The axe and the hammer slam against it, and the liminal shatters like glass. And the momentum keeps going. And you know this is going to happen, Lumièra. This is how you die. This is how it happens. The axe and the hammer come down, and then the drifter, 2 drifters, they split almost, one slightly ahead in time of the other, one slightly behind, one in front of the axe, one in front of the hammer, between you and Xainan. And the drifter's body catches the weapons coming down and holds it there like a shadowy, glitching shield. And these 2 drifters speak in tandem, one slightly delayed like an echo, one slightly ahead. And the drifter says, The cost, Lumièra, you have to. And then the other one cuts in and says, why are you doing this? You're pulling on yourself! And you feel that gold start to creep up your arm again, that deep pain radiating through your body because the drifter hasn't showed you how to control it. You're still drawing on yourself to form this liminal. And even though the drifter has no face, has no eyes, has no expression, you get the sense that they are turning their head over their shoulder as they're catching both weapons inside their body, inside time. And in this moment, they buy you just enough time. They turn their head to you and they say, I thought we had a deal that you wouldn't do this to yourself anymore.
We never made a deal. And she's like clutching her arm to her chest, watching the gold just drip down her forearm into the crook of her elbow.
Oh, no, this hasn't happened yet. No, this has already happened. We've already done this. And it's happening right now. We need to make this promise now. Swear it, Lumièra. Swear on the name of time herself that you will change everything. Swear, and I will show you how to wield this power without it killing you.
And Lumièra grunts in pain as the gold drips further down her elbow up to her forearm. Are you vaulting? Show me! I swear!
When did you? Good. Stop tithing your life. Stop tithing your life, your time away like this. Quick! And the drifters, both of them spin, one slightly ahead of the other, one slightly behind. They turn in place, levitating, and they hold out an arm towards you. 2 arms, but then they meet in the middle. And now it's just one drifter holding their hand out towards you. Seal the oath. Now! Quickly!
And Lumièra will reach out without even thinking, without second guess. With her left arm, that hand gilded in gold, embrace the forearm of the drifter. Show
As
me.
that gilded hand clasps onto those shadowy fingers, poof, time resumes. And Xainan and Seir and Yinghe and Xuejiang and Xiaocheng and Naim, everyone else in this courtyard, from your perspective, no time has passed at all between when Xuejiang lifted those weapons and brought it down. But for you, Lumièra, as you seal the deal, as you hold the drifter's hand and you look around, you see that all of your companions, even Xuejiang herself, have been frozen in time in this moment as you've been talking to the drifter. And as soon as you make contact, time resumes. And we're going to cut to break there. So thank you all so much for tuning in so far to the penultimate episode of Arc 2 of the Chaos Protocol. I'm so sweaty. We'll be right back. See you in 10 minutes. Enjoy the fan art reel. Enjoy Spawny, sponsor Connie, as I talk about our incredible sponsors. See you in 10. Bijou.